She's not referring to you.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone. It is now 1:34. Welcome to our June 2nd, 2023 1:30 special meeting. The special meeting is, for the purpose of the meeting is in the matter of approving a sole source contract with NewJay for the South Spokane County semi-fixed wireless capacity expansion pilot project in the amount of up to $4,260,000. That is the purpose of our special meeting today. With that, this item was stricken from the agenda on Tuesday. We are back. Are there any additional questions that the commissioners have? NewJay is in the room today if there's any additional questions, but I just want to make sure that we have the opportunity before we take a vote. Or I look to my fellow commissioners. Commissioner Jordan.
Thank you. Can we just maybe reiterate for the public the story that we all heard at the last meeting, what the source of the funding is, what the intended use is, and kind of why we're on such a short time frame and thus having a special meeting today? And maybe that's for Arian.
Chris, do you want to or you want to?
Arian, if you want to start, I can
Okay.
fill in anything you'd like.
Happy to do that, Commissioner. We found ourselves with a unique opportunity.
Just a second, I apologize. I do want the record to reflect that all 5 commissioners are present. Commissioner French is on the phone, Commissioner Kearns and Commissioner Jordan are on Zoom, and Commissioner Waldrop and CUNY are here in the room. So I just want to make sure I have that on the record, sorry. Now go.
Okay. We found ourselves with a truly unique situation where the director of the broadband office, Mark Visconti, reached out to me. He had a end of state budget year situation where he had some funds that needed to be expended by the end of the state budget, which is June 30th of this year. And he had been intrigued by a conversation that we had about some technology that NewJay provides and is in a smaller scope in the works in Whitman County with the Pullman School District, and I would like to thank them for coming here as well, to vet a new type of approach in the broadband landscape called semi-fixed wireless. There's broadband, which are the pipes and fiber in the ground. There's fixed wireless, where you build towers that are meant for durability to bring broadband to locations for which it doesn't make sense. But this concept of semi-fixed wireless to where you can outfit in very short time regions, households, businesses, anchor institutions with high capacity internet, and then have that equipment to move it to the next proverbial digital wasteland is really uncharted territory. And so they were offering us that award to be a pilot site in an area of South Spokane County that currently is not under consideration for any of our other grant awards, and to align ourselves with NewJay in order to vet that, and at the close of the pilot, create a report that would be for the broadband office that could show what this could do for a community, and then would have Spokane, through the new PDA Broadlink, be a demonstration site for other counties and tribes that might want to utilize this. Congresswoman McMorris Rogers has indicated she also is very much curious on how this pilot will work, because it can become a part of the solutions that the federal government allow without penalty as parts of scopes of work for upcoming federal notices of funding that have yet to occur. So this was really a very short timeline, wanting to validate some kind of new technology space that we wanted to do in this short timeline. And so that is why, number one, we are doing that as the PDA Broadlink in partnership with Spokane County, and bringing on NewJay that has verified through open procurement in Whitman County that they do this proprietary type of technology and can do it in the very, very condensed timeline that we were given.
And part of the condensed timeline is because Commerce, these are funds available from Commerce that need to be used by the end of June 30 this year, which is the fiscal year for the state of Washington. So that's part of what's driving the timeframe from Commerce, and this is a pilot project that will be looking at and using the data to then make Commerce will be using for decisions for the future. Commissioner Jordan, does that answer? Oh, go ahead, Commissioner
Yeah,
Jordan.
it does. Thank you. And I just was curious kind of what the next steps are for deployment to meet the timeframes. It's pretty quick. So just curious what the plan is.
I'll talk about what we've discussed with Commerce, and then New Jay's here for theirs. We have done a series of clarifications with Commerce, and I appreciate Heather Arnold, the grants administrator, working on that with me. Commerce has further clarified what the scope of work and the county contract is, meaning deployment. And that means all capital has been acquired, received, and is ready for deployment on site. And so that is their definition of scope completion by June 30th. And then they have a separate timeline commencing July 1st that is readiness for the actual data transfer, working with all of the individuals that then would be recipients of the pilot thereafter. Anything to add to that?
So I wanted to thank you for the time and appreciate the questions that come up.
And I apologize, can you introduce
Yes.
yourself for the record?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Ely. I'm with New Jay. And we also have Jerry Newman here with New Jay as well, who's my business partner. So when we were discussing with Arian, we had shared that we had been awarded a similar project for Pullman School District down in Whitman County. We have Karen here with us today that we're working with and in process of building his network. With this, I know that we had some delays with this, so just wanted to outline what and clarify with the things that where we're at now, what we can deliver by 6:30, and then to Arian's point, with the ready for deployment, the next steps for that. So given that on 5/16, I know the commissioners voted to move forward with this, and we had some challenges with just making sure that the procurement process was covered and stuff. So we lost some time there, roughly about 16 to 17 days. So just for clarity for everybody on the Zoom here, when we discuss this internally, what to expect is that in the design, we had 8 semi-fixed sites or towers that were a part of covering South County. So given that we lost some time waiting on the contract, when we had the vote from the county commissioners, we did go ahead and order the materials for that. So that's the good news, is that everything to do this has been procured from a material standpoint. If you're not familiar with Peak and New Jay, they've been here in the county for a little over 20 years, and we do all the manufacturing here on site. So for clarity, all the materials were bought. Everything was in process. We did pause for a slight bit because of waiting for the contract, and we had other clients that were moving things around with our other clients to, fill that timeline. So with that, by June 30th, we'll have all of the semi-fixed towers built. But for clarity as well, that when we talk built, everything's ready to be assembled. And we'll have 4 to 6 fully ready. That, when we say ready, is fully completed, put together, and ready for deployment. The other remaining will be some assembly required, but everything is there to put together. It's just a matter of timing because of that 16 to 17 day window, but everything is there at our facility on West Sunset Highway. All of the equipment that goes on that will be there right about the time of 6:30. Now it's really tight because we held off on getting anything shipped until we were sure that everything was covered and we had a contract. So with that, the labor that we have, the pre-work that we've done, there's still the site acquisition process that has to be done with the NEPAs and such. We did start some, but we did put a pause until everything was covered and signed with contract. So just to be clear that we'll have all of the, we'll call it materials, the stuff at our facility ready to go. There still needs to be the site development process is finished. We've done, again, we started that, but we put a pause on that until we had clarity around the contract. So with that, the labor portion will be able to cover a portion of that, but there's still work to be done. And that's the part that we're not going to bill for something that hasn't been completed yet. So just want to bring clarity around what to expect. It's extremely tight right now, but I think with getting everything ready and on site, we'll be ready to go with that part. Now to finish, again, the site acquisition process and go set up The site's set up very quickly, so we're talking maybe 2 to 3 days at the most. So once we have all of the permitting and such approved, that goes very quickly. In fact, we just did 2 sites down for Guerin in a matter of 2 days, once we had everything in place. So again, that ability to deploy quickly goes, that part is the easier part. But we do want to make sure that we were covered from all of the necessary items in that site development and site acquisition process. So I just want to be very clear, so that way there's no misunderstanding and that the county, everybody knows what to expect.
Very good. Thank you. And Commissioner French, I see your hands raised.
Actually,
Oh, no, maybe
that's
the cursor, sorry.
sorry about that.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, and the fact that you could see my hand raised while I was on the phone is absolutely amazing.
Isn't it so?
No, I just wanted to say, you know, once you gave me a tour of your facility out there on the West Plains, I'm impressed with your operation, but impressed with the product that you produce. And I'm excited that we can finally put this contract to bed and get you guys busy doing the great work that you do. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your flexibility in terms of working with government so that we can get our act together. So just excited to move forward with this project. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner French. So, since this is a special meeting, I will ask for a motion. You know, Josh, is one of those things like, do we do the motion or do we do the open comment first? And since it's special, I think we're going to go ahead and do the motion, and then I'll open it up for public comment before we vote.
All right, Madam Chair, I would move that we approve a resolution in the matter of approving a sole source contract with NewJay for the South Spokane County Semi-Fixed Wireless Capacity Expansion Pilot Project.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Thank you very much for our special meeting today in the matter of approving a sole source contract with NewJay for the South Spokane County Semi-Fixed Wireless Capacity Expansion Pilot Project. Since this is a special meeting and it is an actionable item, I will open it up for public comments. So anyone wishing to testify, you will have 3 minutes to speak. So seeing if there's anyone online, it's *9 to if you're on the phone, or raise your hand if you're on Zoom, or anyone in here. Second call for anyone wishing to testify.
I can speak to some if that's okay.
Yes, so if you can state your name for the
I'm Garen
record.
Shannon. I'm the Director of Technology for Pullman Public Schools down in Pullman, Washington. And the reason why I originally picked this project up is so that we can support our kids who live just a few miles outside of any town or city in our area. We have several towns in our area that lack sufficient connectivity. We have several companies that are doing Ziply Fiber and Comcast and or Verizon Wireless, but oddly enough, they do not supply any kind of support beyond the city boundaries typically. So I have about 120 students that live out in our county. These are farm kids mostly. Some of them are indigent children or low-income families that live inside cities, and they still don't have access to quality internet connectivity. So my project was to be able to support that in a pilot and start this model. I encourage anyone to try to find a better solution at a low cost, because of course you may realize that fiber out to every household is millions and millions, tens and 20s, hundreds of millions of dollars over time. And that is going to be something that we'll eventually get to. But right now, I need support for my kids today. And that's why we're picking this plan for this project. And we're sampling this band 48, which is a very specialized radio band vacated by the U.S. Navy back in 2018, as I recall. And that bandwidth allows me to be able to supply internet service to kids without stepping on contractors, vendors, or any other organization out there right now. We have had some pushback, and I will tell you that you might see that, but the reality is that this is a very specialized bandwidth for us. For my district, it's going to be really good, and we want to expand that out. So I encourage any and all to support this approach. It is a good solution, and it is flexible. You can, as you, Arian noted, you can pull this system down and move it somewhere else once the capacity has reached that area. So it's good and expansive.
Thank you very much. I was saying, I appreciate that because part of Liberty School District is in the South County and will be benefiting from this project. Okay, third and final call for anyone wishing to testify. Anyone online? You guys need to let me know if there's anyone not in the panel. Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. So no one on the panel. Oh, there we go. So, Mr. Vasconi, thank you for joining us today. I see you have your hand raised, and I will let you speak. And if you state your title for the record so everyone knows who you are, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. My name is Mark Vasconi. I'm the director of the Washington State Broadband Office. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to connect Zoom link, but with a number of devices, I think I could at least make remarks briefly. I'm really heartened that we're moving forward with this project, as well as the project in Pullman. And one of the things that I found compelling about the Spokane area's project is that it has the potential of forming a network. You know, it's one thing to invest in and have established networks for localities, but the power of networks is really generated when different places can communicate with one another. And these are both very innovative solutions, and I'm really glad that they were brought forward to us and that we're able to provide the funding for these projects, because I think we'll learn a lot from them. And particularly with New Jay's technology, which is quite innovative and groundbreaking. It has a lot of applications, not only for what we have planned here in Spokane, but also for other parts of the state and the nation. So I'm heartened to see the council be able to move forward. And we're glad to support, we and the Washington Broadband Office are glad to support these kinds of innovative approaches to providing service to unserved parts of the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. We appreciate your comment today and being on with us. And your willingness to support this and get the grant out. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, last call for anyone else wishing to testify. Okay, seeing no one online and no one in the room, I will close the open public comment. And we have a motion in a second, so I will call. Are there any other questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, then I will call. Oh, Commissioner Jordan.
Not a question. I just want to make a quick comment, if I could, that I'm excited to support this pilot project. Appreciate all the work that's been done by the staff to get us ready to move forward today. We are all aware that Congress passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, and there's a lot of work going on around the country and in Washington with the goal of expanding broadband access, particularly in rural areas. So I'm really looking forward to see how this pilot goes and whether this strategy can be part of a solution for those harder to reach areas. So appreciate all the work, appreciate the state's support, and look forward to supporting this pilot.
Thank you. Okay, then I am going to call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And for everyone that is online, that is not here, can we use your signature stamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else to come before the board at this time?
Nothing for me.
Okay, then it is 1:54 and I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all very much for doing this special meeting, making this happen. We really appreciate it. Knowing the time frame, we didn't want to wait till next week. So thank you all commissioners for making the time to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, and I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you, and we will sign some documents. You've got documentation